Welcome to Hardey Park, located right next to the Swan River. My name is Tracy.
My name is Roger, and we're going to show you a beginner's program to get started on the great outdoor gym equipment available here. Before you do though, here's a few quick tips.
Number one, if you've got any pre-existing medical conditions, please make sure you're cleared by your GP to exercise. That's going to be one of the most important things to determining how healthy we can get.
Always warm up and always cool down. The program itself has 7 exercises and they're done for 30 seconds each. Rest for 15 seconds. If you feel fatigued at any time, please stop. And if you feel as though you can progress, take it to 45 seconds per exercise. Start with 1 full round, and then if feeling stronger, go to 2 or 3 rounds. We will go through a warm-up and we will go through a cool down, so let's start with the warm-up now. Before you get started on the exercise program, it's important to warm up. Warming up is going to help blood flow around the body and also allow the heart rate to speed up a little bit and get you excited for what's about to happen. You can do that by walking down here to Hardey Park, or why not take a beautiful walk along the river and come walking back and get into the following dynamic stretches to prepare your body. The dynamic stretches are done 5 to 10 times each and they're rhythmic in movement. The first one is just an alternate knee lift. Lifting up, stretching through and opening up the hips. Make sure the opposite arm is lifted at the same time. Maintain your balance and work forward and breathe continually without holding your breath. After you perform 10 of these each time, you're then going to take a forward step. This is a lunge position. Lower yourself to where you're comfortable and then reach up to the sky. Step back and use the opposite leg. As your body warms up and the muscles start to lengthen, you may find you take a slightly longer step. You may be able to drop a little bit deeper and reach up a little bit higher. Once again, choose 5 or 10 each side. The third movement we'd like to bring into play is what we call a sweep of the ground and a hamstring stretch. We step forward and sweep the ground with our fingertips, lean back, straighten that front leg, leaning the chest in towards the knee. You'll get a stretch at the back of the leg, then push yourself to a standing position and swap it to the other leg. As you get more flexible, or as the movement feels more comfortable, you'll find your fingertips will brush the grass and the stretch behind the back of the leg will start to ease up. Once again, 5 to 10 each side until you feel comfortably warmed up. The last one is a combination movement. It's opening up the chest with some circles, and we want those circles to go backwards. You can put your hands on your shoulders to rotate through, or you can open up your chest more by stretching the arms up towards the sky. After you've done 5 to 10 of these, go into a squat. Don't go super deep, just warm up the thighs, warm up the bottom, keep the chest and head up. Knees stay over the feet. Once again, 5 to 10. Making sure that you breathe on each of the movements. Do this a couple of times and then you'll be ready to start the exercise program. Let's get started. The first movement we're going to perform is a seated leg press. With all the movements that have been demonstrated by Tracy, we're going to give a beginner's exercise and then we're going to give a progression from there. The first movement here is having the feet equally spaced on the bar with the knees tracking over the second toe. You can hold on to the handlebars with your back pressed up against the backrest. Extend out, making sure your quads contract, and then allow the resistance to bring you back slowly. Push out again and perform this movement for 30 seconds. If you find a couple of the following things taking place, such as the knees folding in or yourself sliding off the seat, this is poor technique and can lead to injury. So stop and regroup. The options that you can take from here to improve and make it a little bit harder is to take one leg off and focus solely on one side of the body. You'll push out and you can really make sure that the knee stays over the toe. Work it for 30 seconds, rest for 15, and then do the opposite leg. Fantastic. Let's go look at exercise number 2. The second machine we have available here is the shoulder press. Now to get into this, enter from behind, push up, slide under, and you're in. From here, have your feet grounded, back against the backrest, arms outside and level with the chest. You're going to drive those hands up towards the sky, tummy remaining tight. Lower the resistance down, exhale and push back up. This is performed for 30 seconds. Once again, 45 seconds if you want to work a little bit longer and harder. Now, poor technique can result from your head tilting to one side, you stoop in from the shoulders, or you're actually struggling to push that resistance up, which can lead to neck and upper back pain. So please stop if any of that happens. For those of you who end up finding this too easy, we can make it a little bit harder by pushing up, taking one arm off, and resisting with one side of the body. You would stay with the same side of the body working on the way down. 30 seconds worth, rest for 15, and then of course, don't forget to do the other side as well. A great exercise to work the upper half and build up your strength in that top half of the body. Exercise number 3 is a modified pull-up. Now you'll find here at Hardey Park a lot of different angles and a lot of different bars at different heights. Aim to start with one at chest height. It's important to allow yourself to make sure that your shoulders, your hips, your knees and your ankles are in a straight line. As you'll see, Tracy's pulling herself up and she's like an ironing board, squeezing between her hands, making sure her shoulder blades squeeze together. As she lowers herself back, she's going down in one piece. And that's the most important part of this, to help work that upper back. Now, some poor technique faults that could happen may be the rounding of the shoulders, the dropping back of the hips, in where the legs are actually being worked instead of the upper body. If you find you're doing this, it'd be far better for you to stand a little bit taller to make sure you get the action correct. The further you move the feet forward, the harder it will be and the more weight you're taking of your body weight. To actually allow yourself to progress from here, you can take yourself to a lower bar, which will be this one here. As you'll see, Tracy's a little bit lower down now, and she has to work a little bit hard to make sure she doesn't fall to the ground and work a little bit harder to pull herself back up. But if you're finding this one a little bit easy, take yourself to this one for better results, and once again 30 seconds or 45 depending on how hard you'd like to work. So down here at Hardey Park we have the OzCore equipment. One of the things we can do is what's called a toe tap. This is going to elevate your heart rate the way we demonstrate it. Now what Tracy's doing initially is tapping very slowly left to right, holding onto the bar. If you want to elevate your heart rate, stay holding onto the bar and speed up your cadence. Remain balanced, remain breathing, and making sure that you're just tapping and swapping the legs. This may take a little bit of coordination, but it's going to be very beneficial for the lower half of the body and the heart and the lungs. Some poor technique that could take place might be when you're slipping, you're rounding your back, you're actually not performing the movement correctly by putting the feet out to the side. Always work on coordination and slow the movement down if you find that your patterns aren't correct. If you really wanted to take it up, instead of holding onto the bar, perform the same movement, and this will require a lot more balance without holding on. Use the arms with the alternate legs and keep that breathing working for the full 30 seconds. At the end of 45, if you do decide to take it, you're going to know that you're into a workout. Let's move on to the next exercise. Our next movement is the oblique pivot. So we're going to work through the abs and the core. When stepping onto the machine, make sure that your foot is stable and steady and you hold on and before placing the other foot down. Once you do, you want to target your mid belly button here with the central pivot point. That allows you to keep centered and your lower body will move independently of the upper body. Only the lower half is moving left to right. And as a beginner, you only want it to make small incremental movements. This will start to target the area between the rib cage and the pelvis, and it will work very nicely. Now, poor technique, as you'll see, is the upper body moving, the lower half all out of coordination. And this is going to lead to some back problems, so please allow yourself to control your movement by holding on to the handle at the front and having small incremental movements below. As your upper body starts to stabilize and you get used to this, you can start to swing a little bit more freely and let the ab and core work a little bit stronger. Maintain that upper half stationary whilst the lower half does the work, and you'll get the best results for your abs. So exercise number 6 is going to work the back of the arms, known as the tricep, and it's a modified tricep dip. So using the OzCore machine, place your hands either side and allow your bottom to drop down with bent legs. By doing it this way, you can let your legs help assist as you push up. Make sure your arms straighten so you can feel the full tension and allow your chest to project up proudly. As you lower yourself down, engage the core, and once again the legs will help assist. If you find that your shoulders come up as you go down, you're lacking that upper body strength and you may need to shuffle your feet further forward to help assist you. All right. The other thing that could happen is that your feet may start to fall out from you, and that'll put a bit of stress on the shoulder. So if any time, stop. If you find that you're strong in the triceps and you want to progress it, the machine's set up to allow you to rest your feet here so you're taking more of your body weight. By lowering yourself down now, you really do have to work the back of the arms and engage that upper body to full maximal capacity to get the movements happening for 30 seconds. This is far more beneficial than the previous movement, but once again, go to where you're able to before progressing to this level. Our final movement is a body weight squat, a fantastic exercise for the quadriceps and also for the glutes. A few key teaching points. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. Knees track over the toes, your chest and face stay up. As you squat down, you can use your elbows to help counterbalance, but if you find that you're still tipping forward, put your hands out a little bit further. This is going to be performed for 30 seconds. Once again, poor technique could creep in. One of these could be rounding of the back where you're looking at the ground. It's really important to keep yourself up and not go so deep. A second thing that could happen is that your knees could fold in or they could bow out. Once again, recheck, realign, and if needed, take a rest before commencing. Now, if you're finding you're able to do the body weight squat comfortably in that 30-second time period, we're going to go into a jump squat. This is a little bit more explosive in nature, and we're going to use the machine, the OzCore machine, as a guide. As you jump up, you're going to target where you're hitting on your arm or your fingertips, and you're going to try and jump and reach to that spot each and every time. Land softly, regather your balance, making sure your knees track over your toes, and perform this movement for 30 seconds. At the end of this, you know that you've completed a workout. You've finished your workout, now we go into a cool down. If you've walked down here, you can do these stretches once you get home. All these stretches are held for a minimum of 20 seconds and 30 seconds is better. The first one, we've actually found a seat to actually put our leg up, and we're going to stretch the back of our leg, which is the hamstring. By leaning forward from the pelvis and pushing the chest towards the knee, that allows the muscle to stretch and also remove any waste products. Once again, hold it for 30 seconds and then switch and do the same to the other side. Once you've performed your hamstring stretches, you're then going to take it into a quadricep stretch. There's two ways that this can be done. Once again, we can find something where we can place our foot and allow our knee to point to the ground. From here, our chest is up proud and we lean back slightly to stretch through the front of the thigh. Hold that for 30 seconds, allow the foot to come out and then gently swap it to the other side. Now I'm going to get Tracy to demonstrate a method if you don't have a seat to put your foot on, and that might mean holding onto a pole and then reaching down, grabbing hold of your foot, still with the knee pointing down, the chest up, and you'll still get a stretch through that area. We now want to move on to the upper body. We're going to stretch through the back. Grab hold of a pole and then push the bottom back and allow the weight to take and stretch down through the back of the arm and the side of the body. This should feel really pleasing, and especially after what you've done, you're going to enjoy this. An option to get more of a stretch is to do it with one arm and then to do the same on the other side. Spend and aim to do 30 seconds on each to get the most benefit. Finally, we want to open up the chest. So we grab hold of the pole, we turn our arms away from the pole and allow the stretch to take place through the shoulders and the chest. We gently turn our feet back towards our hand and we do the same on the other side. All of those 4 stretches will cover the body and help remove any lactic acid that has accumulated from the workout.
Thank you for exercising with us down here at Hardey Park. Bring your family down, enjoy the amazing facilities provided by the City of Belmont and enjoy the sunshine.